Our heart is our CIA, our Central Intelligence Agency. Our heart has neurites in it, which are neurons of intelligence. In fact, our heart has its own brain. The mind can be fooled, but the heart cannot. The mind is either in the past or the present, but the heart is in the now. And that's where all the joy and experience is. Okay, welcome back to episode 42 of Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, finding meaning and purpose in all the chaos and mayhem. I'm your host, Stephen Edwards. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about heartism. You know, the ancients told us that, we got to live from the heart, speak from the heart. And if something is true, it will be heartfelt. And what they meant by that is that when we live from the heart, we can see things from a higher perspective. Because when we live from our heart, tune into our heart, get coherence with our heart, which we're going to talk about today, we are then we have entrainment with the earth's frequency. And that way we can tune into our intuition. Now, the earth's frequency is also connected to the universal frequency. So we can actually see at a quantum level things that we couldn't possibly see from our limited perspective here, which allows us to make better decisions and make easier decisions without having to think it through and stress about it. We just know. And that's why we need to develop the faith in our heart, because our faith is going to allow us to trust in our heart and move forward with what our heart is saying we need to do. And as the Yupik elders told us, that our heart in ancient times was the driver, and our brain was the assistant to the heart. And we need to go back to that time. And as they say, we live in what they call a reverse society. We'll reverse that. 90% of everything that goes on in our world is mind-driven. And the challenge with that is the mind is ego-driven. It's fear-driven. It lives in a world of separation. Them and us, you and me. Your ideas and your beliefs make you separate from me. You have things that I want. So we have a cosmology of separation. Our theology of separation that says my religion is right as yours is wrong. In some cases, right? Many people now have come to the realization that we need to accept other people and their religion and the fact that, ultimately, we are connected to everything, everywhere, all at once. And what you have is fine and what I have is fine, and that's okay. But that is fewer and far between, right? So when we speak from the heart, we're speaking at a different frequency and a different vibration. When we speak from our head, it's a lower frequency, a lower vibration. And when we're speaking from ego, it becomes inauthentic. So when we're speaking from our heart, our consciousness knows that we're speaking from our heart. We're speaking from truth. And that changes the frequency or changes the vibration. And then the person receiving that information, if they're also tuned in, have coherence with the heart, which again, we're going to talk about today, they can feel that. And so we can know through our feelings, see through our feelings, see with our real eyes, not these eyes. Our feelings are our real eyes. And we have a deep sense of knowing whether it's true or not. And you know this, you've had this experience, right? You felt something in your heart, you felt, oh, no, there's something about that's not right, but you went with what your brain told you to do, and later on you went, I knew I should have done that. Or I knew I should have done that, and I didn't, right? So we know this stuff. It's just, how can we do it on purpose? How can we do it consciously? And that's what we're going to look at today. So when something is heartfelt, it's because we're feeling it when we're saying it, because we're speaking from our heart. And when we're receiving that information, it's heartfelt. In our heart, we know whether it's authentic or not. And this is another reason why practicing heartism is so essential. And as the world gets crazier and crazier, as it is, and is going to continue to do, it's getting harder and harder to trust the external reality and know what is right and what is not right for you. When people are speaking the truth and when they're not, whether you see something that is true and whether it isn't. We can now take 3 seconds of someone's voice and we can record it, and AI can make it sound like that person. And people make calls using these technologies and it sounds like the person that isn't. So we can easily be fooled. The mind can be fooled, but the heart cannot. The mind is either in the past or the present, but the heart is in the now. And that's where all the joy and experience is, right? So our heart is our CIA, our Central Intelligence Agency. Our heart has neurites in it, which are neurons of intelligence. In fact, our heart has its own brain, a separate brain, records everything. So our heart is talking to our brain more than the brain is talking to the heart. Our heart really is the Central Intelligence Agency. So we need to tune into that. And like the UPIC elders said, go back to living from our heart. And the UPIC elders say most people have forgotten how to connect to their heart. That we used to teach our children how to live. Now we teach them how to make a living. We used to respect our elders, and now we respect youth and possessions and money, right? So our HQ is our headquarters, our heart. But also HQ is because our heart is quantum, sees things at a quantum level, like I was just saying. And we're building these quantum computers now. And we're getting closer and closer to being able to make them available to everybody, everywhere, all at once. But really, this quantum computer is a reflection of our heart. It's an instrument that we are using as a stepping stone to come back to our heart. So why wait? So we have this quantum computer right here. All the medicines, all the technology, all this external stuff is simply a reflection of our inner potential. Now, when we see from a quantum perspective, we can see everything everywhere all at once and make better choices and decisions. We don't know how or why, and that's why we need to build faith. We have to have faith in that higher power, in that higher consciousness. When that higher power and consciousness communicates with us and lets us know what to do, because we're entrained with that consciousness. But that takes faith, because you can't see from where you are why that is the right way to go. And what often happens is we cancel it out and go, that's crazy, that's not going to work. My brain tells me this is what I need to do. And that's where we go astray. So we are able to see things from a higher perspective. And isn't that amazing that our Creator created a system, a technology that allows us to live free and just trust in our Creator and to know in our heart, using our intuition, what is the right thing to do. So our heart is in the house. This is the house, our body. And so it's important how we treat our body. Our house is our home. And home is where the heart is. And our home is also the earth. You've probably seen me write and get you to write home, earth, earth, earth across a page. Just keep writing the words in lowercase, and what you see is ear, hear, the heart. If you just write earth and heart, put them together. Earth, heart, they're one and the same, right? We are connected, right? Trust in that. Now, when we express ourselves from our heart, that expression, our unique creativity, is our artistry. And we are artists. When we're doing that from our heart, it's artistry. Look at the word heart, right? It has the word artist in it. Artist, right? Heart, art. I know. And when we are in higher quality feelings, better quality feelings, we're in expansion. We're expanding, just like the universal expansion. The universe expands and it contracts. We contract when we're in anger and resentment or jealousy or hate, because we are tightening up, right? We're tightening our heart, which tightens everything in our body. And we're in a contracted. We can't fully express ourselves. We can't access our full potential. But when we're in expansion, when we experience feelings of gratitude, appreciation, kindness, and compassion, then everything is expanding. Our world is expansive and our world feels amazing. So that feeling comes from within. So we're going to learn how to get into those feelings without any external help, right? So that we start to feel that way and we start to see with our real eyes, our feelings, those feelings manifested in the physical world. And that is what we're going to look at in the next episode. We're going to look at how we actually do this. So I'm going to give you a technique of how to get into what we call coherence. It's not meditation, but it's to be coherent with our heart and then our brain, and use them both together to live the life of our dreams. So I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. In the meantime, Saper Ord. dare to be wise.